Welcome everyone. Today we're gonna focus on another part of our freeCodeCamp run, and today we are gonna focus on applied visual design. So let's just hop into our first task, which is create visual balance using the text align property. Align the H4 tag text, which says Google, to the center, then justify the paragraph tag, which contains information about how Google was founded. Okay, so we have different options to align items. To justify, which is do it in the middle of the screen, center, right, left. Okay, I guess my neighbor doesn't like me. Anyway, let's just focus on this, on the task. Let's align it, jeez Louise, in the center. Cool. Run the test. Okay, we also need to do it in the p tag, and we need to justify that. And let's see. Okay. Adjust the width of an element using the width property. Add a width property to the entire card and set it to an absolute value of 245 pixels. Use the full card class to select the element. Okay, so that's our class. We need to set the width to 245 pixels. Okay. What? Okay, my bad. Pixel. What? Width. What is wrong with this? I don't know. Okay. Okay. Another one. Adjust the height using height property. Add height property to the H4 tag and set it to 25 pixels. Height 25 pixels. Completed. Maybe later. Thank you. Use the strong tag to make text bold. Okay. Wrap a strong tag around Stanford University inside a p tag. Okay. Where is my p tag? Okay. Let's add it inside here. Strong. And let's just close it here. And run. The strong tag should wrap around the words. Okay, only the Stanford. So right here. Cool. Use the U tag to underline text. Use it around the text PhD. So let's add U. Let's close it. Okay. My bad again. The M tag to italicized text. Italic, Jesus. Wrap M around the tag, around the content of the paragraph tag to give it an emphasis. Okay. So let's maybe do it like this. And here, I don't know, maybe. Cool. Use the S tag to strike through. Okay, wrap a Google inside H4. H4. So we need to use S and \s. Run. Run, run. You should include the word alphabet. And then add the word alphabet beside it. Okay, okay. Alphabet. Next one. Create a horizontal line using the HR element. Okay. Add HR underneath H4. So we need to make it here, and add H4. It is self-closing, so that's enough. Okay. And adjust the background color property of text. To make the text stand out more, adjust background color of the H4 element to the given RGB. Okay. We also need to remove the height and add padding of 10. So let's remove the height. Let's add background color. 45, 45, 45. And the opacity 0.1. And we need to add also padding of 10 pixels. I don't want to save it. Run RGBA. Okay. Adjust the size of a header versus a paragraph tag. To make the heading significantly larger, change the font size of H4 tag to 27. Well, it's not very tough, to be honest. Font size 27 pixels. Cool. Add a box shadow. Okay. Okay. So we got different parameters, and we should just remember that the first one stands for X, the second one for Y, the third one is a blur, the fourth one is the radius, and the fifth is color. ID thumbnail. With the selector, use the example CSS values above to place a box shadow on the card. So I literally have to copy that and paste it and paste it. Example CSS values above to place box shadow on the card. Okay, so I will just add it right here, and as you can see we got a shadow all around our Jesus, the neighbor is going hard. Okay, your code should add a box shadow property for the thumbnail ID. Where's my thumbnail? Okay, so we need to actually add ID thumbnail like this, and right now let's run it. Cool. Decrease the opacity of an element. Set the opacity of the anchor tags to 0.7 using links class to select them. Okay, so let's just paste it right here. And I hope it will work. Yes, it will work. Use text transform property to make text uppercase. Okay, as you can see, we can make it lowercase, uppercase, we can make it capitalized, initialized, which will just make the first letter bigger, inherited, which takes the elements from the parents, and done. Transform the text of h4. Okay, let's just copy that to uppercase, and cool, boom. Set the font size for multiple heading elements. In the style tag, set the font size of the Jesus. Okay. So let's just make it h1. Let's just copy that, and 3, 4, 5, 6, and now 3, 4, 5, 6, font size, font size, font size, font size, and font size. Oh, 68 pixels and 52 pixels, 40 pixels, 32 pixels, 21 and 14. That's all I hope. Let's run. Done. Set the font weight. Oh, here we go again. H1 800. I will just copy that and paste it everywhere right here. Well, it doesn't really look very stylish, but okay, let's just keep on doing what we gotta do. 6, 5, 4, 3, and 2. And this is what we got. This is what we got. Set the font size of paragraph text. Okay, change the value property of the paragraph to 16 pixels. run, 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 run like a son of a gun. Add line height property. Line height to 25 pixel. Done. Adjust the hover state of an anchor tag. Okay. The code has CSS rule to style all A tags, and a rule so that when the user hovers over the A, the color is to blue. Okay, let's just use this thing and change it to blue. And it changes to blue as we hover over. Change an element's relative position. Alright, change the position of the H2 to relative. Position relative. And use CSS Offset to move it 15 pixels away from the top. Okay, so we use top minus 15 pixels. But without the minus, like that. Okay. Move a relatively positioned element with CSS Offset. Use CSS Offset to move H2 pixels to the right and 10 pixels up. Okay, so 15 pixels to the right, which is, we can use right minus 15 pixels and 10 pixels up. So we can just use bottom 10 pixels. Run, complete. Lock an element to its parent with absolute positioning. Lock the search bar. Let's change the position to absolute. Position. Position. Absolute. So my neighbor still decides to wreck the house. Okay. And we got position absolute, and we need to give it a top of silence. Top 50 pixels and right 50 pixels, and that's how we can position our elements. Okay, done. Lock an element to the browser window with fixed position. Okay, so we have used our absolute position and relative position, so now we can use our fixed, and it will stick to our window screen. Well, a stick word is not stick word is not the best one to use, because we can also use position sticky, which will maybe it will be described later, but now let's just focus on this thing. The navigation bar in the code is labeled with an ID of navbar, and change its position to fixed. Position fixed, and offset it 0 pixels from the top and 0 pixels from the left. Jeez Louise, man, stop it. Stop it. After you have added the code, scroll the preview window. Well, as you can see, As you can see, my neighbor doesn't give a damn about me, but in the window right here, we can see that our navbar is staying on the top of the screen. Another one, push elements left or right with the float property. The given markup would work well as two-column layout with the section and aside elements next to each other. Keep the left item a float to left and the right item float to right. Left. Let's just use float to the left. It will go to the left, and right float to the right. And now they behave like inline elements. Cool. Change the position of overlapping elements with the z-index property. So we can assign z-index to any element, and we can decide which item we want to pop out as the front item and as the last item. Add z-index property to the element with the class name of first. Okay, so we need to add it right here, that index, the red rectangle, and set it value to 2, so it covers the other element. Basically, we can just use whatever we want. We can see that the z-index for the second one is 1, and whatever number we give, which is bigger than 1, will be like the front. Jesus, neighbor, stop it. And if we give it minus, like a random number, it will still work. But just let it. Let's give it 2, as they ask us in the exercise. Okay. Center an element horizontally using margin property. So we can use margin and set it to auto, and it will it will definitely not make our neighbors stop doing what they are actually doing, because no. So now we need to learn about complementary colors. To be honest, I have never seen a neighbor like this. I have never seen people using, like, combining the colors like this. Change the background color property of the blue and yellow classes to their respective colors. And notice how the colors look different next to each other than they are compared against the white background. Alright. Body blue. Let's change the blue to like this, I guess. And yellow. Is that all? Is it all? Yeah, we don't have to actually just combine them in any way. Learn about the Triarii Colors. Okay, so we just got some more colors. Cool. Change the background color property of the orange, cyan, and raspberry classes to their respective colors. Make sure to use the hex codes and not the color names. Okay, so basically freeCodeCamp wants us to learn the hex codes without using the names. Let's change orange to FF7 FOO, which is 00, and cyan to 4 Fs, and raspberry to FF007F. Did I mention that I hate my neighbors? I guess not. Okay, it works. Cool. We are halfway there. adjust the color of various elements to complementary colors. Change the background color of both the header and footer from black to the teal color. Then change, okay, let's do one by one. Let's just copy this shade of teal, whatever it is, and change the background color of header and footer to this teal. Okay, it's like this. Okay. I really apologize for the conditions we have to work today. I guess my neighbor is just doing it for fun to piss me off. Let's change the footer to this as well. And change the H2 color to teal. And finally change the background of the button. Where's the button? Here. And let's run. The button element should have the background color of, okay, some different kind of fancy orange. Okay. Adjust the hue of a color. Okay, so here we are using HSL. We can set it should be described like saturation, something like HSL stands for something, but I don't remember now. Oh, saturation, hue, and lightness. Okay. Change the background color of each div element based on the class names green, cyan, and blue using HSL. All three should have full saturation and normal lightness. Okay. Div of green. Let's copy green. HSL and let's not like this, like this, and hue. All three should have full saturation, which is 100%, and normal lightness, which is 50%. Okay, green, we got cyan, and we got blue, and we got our naughty neighbor who is like, I hate him. Let's run and let's go to another one. Adjust the tone of a color. Okay, all elements have a default background color of transparent. Our nav element currently appears to have a cyan background because the element behind it has a background color set to cyan. Add a background color to the nav element so it uses the same cyan hue but has 80% saturation, 25 lightness values, change its tone and shade. Okay, our nav element add a background color to the nav element so it has same cyan hue but has like 80% saturation and 25, and as you can see it's darker. Okay, create a gradual CSS linear gradient. Okay, so we are making gradients now, I guess. Use linear gradient for the div element's background and set it from direction 35 to change the color. Okay. div. Let's change the background. Let's change the background. Linear. Let's change it to 35 degrees and set the colors. Set the colors like this, and the second one goes instead of the yellow, and we got this fancy stuff. Okay, it's not working. The div element should have linear gradient background with the specified direction and colors. I know. Background, linear gradient, 35 degrees. That's right. To change the color from maybe we don't need that. Run. Done. Boom. Use a CSS linear gradient to create a stripped element. Okay, that's a lot of stuff to read. Basically, we need repeating linear gradient and Jesus. Okay, let's try the hard way. Make stripes by changing repeating linear gradient to use a gradient angle of 45 degrees. Then set the first two colors stops to yellow. And finally, the second two colors stops to black. So let's change it to 45 degrees. Set first two colors stops to yellow. Yellow, I guess. It's like a Rasta colors. And then finally, two colors stops to black. Like that? I don't know. You tell me. Now it looks like a German flag. Black. Okay, I guess this is how it should look like. Yes. Awesome. Create a texture by adding a subtle pattern as a background image. Using the URL, set the background of the whole page with the body selector. We're gonna copy this image and we're gonna set background to make it like this URL, and we need to put it inside. Hey, something's there. It changed. Okay. Use the CSS transform scale property to change the size. Okay, so scaling is pretty basic. Increase the size of an element with the my neighbors are at it again. Okay, increase the size of an element with the ID of bold2 to 1.5 times of the original size. So we got bold2 and we want to transform scale 1.5 and we got bigger bold. Awesome. Lift off. Use CSS transform scale to scale element on hover. Okay. Add CSS rule for the hover state of the div and use transform property to scale the div element to this size when user hovers over it. Okay. Of the div. Okay, so I'm gonna just I'm gonna just copy that, and I'm gonna change P to our div, and I want to change the size of it. So as you can see, as I hover, it increases in size. Run, done. Next one. Use property Skew X. Okay, another one. Skew the element with the ID of bottom by 24 degrees along the x-axis by using transform property. Okay, let's just bottom transform. Let's do it like this, and let's change it by 24 degrees. Done. Run. Next one. Same thing, different day. Y-axis. Okay, skew the element with the ID top minus 10%. Let's paste it and skew Y minus 10 degrees along y-axis. Okay, so it looks like this. Cool. Run. Next one. Create a graphic using CSS. Okay, so we got like all of this stuff that we previously have, and let's just play with it. Manipulate the square element in the editor to create the moon shape. First, change the background color to transparent. Okay, let's just do it step by step. Transparent. Okay. Then set the border radius property to 50% to make the circular shape. Border radius 50%. Cool. Box shadow offset x to 25, y 10. Okay, so border shadow 25, 10, blur to 0. Okay, and spread to 0. And now let's change it to blue. And we got a beautiful moon. Cool. Create more complex shaping using CSS and HTML. Okay, so we are gonna use now pseudo elements. And what do they say here? Before and after pseudo elements. Let's make a heart. Okay. That's a lot of stuff over here. So as we use it, we need to define content. We need to use it as we make another like element. And after that, we are just shaping it. We are giving it more properties. So transform the element on the screen to a heart in the heart after selector. Change the background color to pink and border radius to 50%. After border radius to 50%. Okay, so we got a circle and the background color pink. And we have that small little, I don't know, diglet. Next, target the element with the class heart, just heart, and fill the transform property. Use rotate to... Okay, so we are gonna use like 2 pieces of this, and we are gonna rotate it, transform here. Rotate by minus 45 degrees, like this. And before, set its content property to an empty string. Okay, so what we have here is like the second element that we're gonna use, and we've got a heart. Okay, we combined this and that, so this is the result. Awesome. Next one. Learn how to use keyframes. Oh, okay, now we're gonna start using animations. Okay, so in this example, we make an animation called colorful, and we are setting the properties on how we want it to behave at the 0% and at the end when it reaches 100%. And after that, we can just refer to our animation by using animation name, and we can set many different properties. For example, duration, the speed, the acceleration of our animation, and all of this stuff. Okay, create an animation for the element with the ID rect right here by setting the animation name to rainbow and the animation duration to 4 seconds. So let's just copy that and let's change the name to rainbow and the duration of 4 seconds. 3 seconds, 4 seconds. Next, declare a keyframes rule. Okay. And set the background color at the beginning of the animation 0% to blue and the middle 50% to green and the end to yellow. Okay, I'm just gonna copy this because why not? And I'm gonna change the name to rainbow. 0% goes to blue. We got 50% that goes to green, and the last one stays yellow. Okay, as we can see, it goes from black. Why black? I don't know why black. Let's run something. Never mind. All good. All good. Okay. Use CSS animation to change the hover state of the button. Okay, so now as we hover over it, it will like activate our animation. We are using now milliseconds. Okay. Use CSS keyframes to change the background color. Okay, so we are gonna just use what we got right here, which stands for keyframes, and name background color. We need to take it from here, open the brackets and close it after. And let's just make it 100% background color of the button to this one. The keyframes rule should only have an entry of 100%. Okay, so let's just try it, and as we can see, it slowly changes the color for 500 milliseconds, and it then goes back to the original color. Okay, running test, done. Another one. Now we are gonna use fill mode of an animation. Okay, so we are gonna now focus on the thing that is happening after animation is done. Set the animal fill mode property of button hover to forwards, so the button stays highlighted when a user hovers over it. Okay, so this is what happens after the animation stops. I'm just gonna copy that because why not? And now it stays. See, after the animation is over, it goes to forward mode, which freezes the animation at the last thing that happened. Create movement using CSS animation. Okay, so we can not only change the color, we can also change the position of our elements. Add horizontal motion to the div animation using left and right. Okay, so where do we have our keyframes? Okay, so we need to, using the left offset property, add to the keyframes rule, so the rainbow starts at 0 pixels left, 0 pixels, and moves to 25 pixels at 50%, left 50%, so it should be in the middle, and at the end at minus 25 pixels, minus 25 pixels. Don't replace top property in the editor. The animation should have both vertical and horizontal. Oh my goodness. Okay. 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 Crap. Crap, crap, crap. Okay, let's just quickly change it to... Holy crap. Okay. Let's just leave it like it was. And change left to 0 pixels. Left to 50%. And left to minus 25 pixels. Like this. Let's see. The keyframes rule for 50% should use left offset of 25. Okay. 25 pixels, my bad. And it moves. It moves. Okay. Run. Go. Create visual direction by fading an element from left to right. So we are gonna now use opacity. Target an element with the ID of ball right here, and add opacity property to set to 0.1 at 50%. So opacity 0.1, so the element fades as it moves to the right. Okay. Okay, now we are gonna play with some bouncy ball. Infinite. Okay. Iteration count. We can use iteration count to set the amount of times our animation is gonna work. To keep the ball bouncing on the right... Jesus, my neighbor. I apologize. To keep the ball bouncing on the right on a continuous loop, change animation iteration count property to infinite. Let's change free to infinite, and it will bounce and bounce and bounce and bounce and bounce. Make CSS heartbeat using an infinite animation count. Okay. Keep the heart beating by adding animation iteration count property for both the back class and the heart class, and setting the value to infinite. The heart before and after selectors do not need any animation properties. Okay. So I guess all we need to do is add here animation iteration count to infinite. Let's just copy that and paste it not here but right here. And we got the result we wanted. Awesome. Animate elements at variable rates. Alter the animation rate for the element with the class name *1 by changing its keyframes rule to 50%. Okay. So, as we can see, our star number 1 uses animation called twinkle 1, our star 2 uses twinkle 2, and we're gonna refer to my neighbor to twinkle 1, and we're gonna change it to 50%. So, as you can see, they change in different rates. Cool. We are almost there. Animate multiple elements at variable rates. Set the animation duration of your elements with the classes *1 to these. Okay, 1, 0.9, and 1.1. Let's run. And they are bouncing with different rates. Cool. Really cool. I like seeing what I do. Actually, when you type something in the code, it's like, never mind. Change animation timing with keywords. Okay, so here we are gonna use is out, is in, linear. We can choose whatever you want to change the acceleration of these balls. For the elements with ID ball 1 and 2, add an animation timing function property to each and set ball 1 to linear and ball 2 to ease out. Okay, let's add this here and change this to linear and change the second one to ease out. Ease out. And as you can see, this one stays the same. This one is accelerating, slowing, and stopping at the end, and basically the duration is still the same. Notice the difference between how the elements move during the animation but and together, since they share the same animation duration of 2 seconds. Yeah, exactly. Okay, let's keep on rolling. Learn how Bezier curves work. Okay, so this is where we can just define our own properties of the acceleration of our elements. For the example with the ID of 1, change the value of animation timing function property from linear to its equivalent cubic Bezier, I don't know, function value. Use the point values given in the example below, above. Okay, let's just use this thing. And where we got it. So we need to change it here like this. And is that all? I guess so. Okay. Use a Bezier curve to move a graphic. Okay. To set the effect of the Bezier curve in action, change the animation timing function of the element with the ID of red to cubic Bezier function with x, y, x2, x, y2 values to this. This will make both elements progress through the animation similarly. Okay, let's change the red to D. Let's take these like this, put it here, and as you can see, it looks like linear. It probably is not, but it's very similar. Okay, so we got the last one to do. Make motion more natural using a Bezier curve. Okay. Change value of animation timing function of element with the ID of green to a cubic Bezier function with these values set respectively to these. Okay, so now we're gonna see some fluent movement, I guess. Green, and let's change these to these, and yeah, it's bouncing like more naturally. Okay, that's it, I guess.